It just won't go away. Why would anyone make this? Why? Why would this exist? Why can't I destroy it?
I think one of the most difficult things to make people understand about my videos, or the reason why I tend to gatekeep by making all of those videos, telling people to unsubscribe, or just intentionally being shocking, which has gotten to the point where people who don't regularly view my content can't properly tell when I'm being shocking and when I'm not. To me, it's all obvious. It's all completely obvious when I'm trying to be shocking, but then I realize that a lot of my actual opinions just appear shocking to people because they're that removed from the mainstream. That's a difficulty of making people understand. It's like I simultaneously want people to understand my point of view while at the same time um, actively obscuring understanding by doing all of those weird videos. And it's sort of like the goals aren't necessarily intertwined, or maybe they are. Maybe I'm sort of trying to weed out all of the people who are unable to understand. I think that's what it is that I'm weeding out the people who don't get what I'm going for. Um, I watch a lot of content from completely different perspectives. People who radically oppose my worldview or disagree with me because I want to understand where they're coming from. If I were to talk to that person directly, I would probably get really angry. I probably wouldn't want to talk to them. But from a distance, from this disembodied medium we call YouTube, you can view the perspectives of anybody, and you aren't connected to the conversation because they're not talking to you. No, they are not telling you that you're wrong about this, that, and the other. They're just explaining themselves. And no matter how much condescension they use in doing so, no matter how much gate-kept language they might use, it at the end of the day is a disconnected medium. It's just videos. It doesn't affect you because it's a person on the other end of a manufactured YouTube video meant to speak to everyone, but no one specifically. Like when you're talking to someone directly, it's much more personal. There's a lot more personal stakes. People can easily misrepresent the things that you say, which draws ire from me immediately. I just get pissed off when I hear people misrepresenting me or misunderstanding what I have to say. And like I tolerate it when it's someone I care about, but when it's someone I don't care about, I could give two shits. I'm just gonna call that person retarded and blow up. But I get into the situations where I get so angry that I actually forget information that I would normally use to construct my arguments, and I have to go back and like, oh yeah, I remember this now because I'm just so angry in the moment. Um, and like it's not like I care about what those people individually think or whatever their worldview is. I don't care. They can think whatever they want to think. I'm not them. Their subjective viewpoint on how the world operates, or how their own life operates, or how anyone's life operates, really, is ultimately going to be filtered through their subjective lens. Like the reason why people think the things that they do is because they've decided that this is what's best for me. And who am I to judge? Who am I to judge what's best for you? If you have your own interests in mind, then I can't blame you for thinking the way that you do. And I'm not going to attempt to change anybody's mind on those fundamental things. It's only when I see myself being misrepresented and misunderstood that I start getting really angry, because I know what I'm trying to say, and it isn't just anger at the person, it's anger at myself for not being able to express it properly. A lot of it is self-directed at me for not being able to say what I'm trying to say. And then I end up just taking that anger at myself out on the other person. Um, and it's really messy because of that. And I think everyone feels this way on some level. Maybe not everyone, but I think a lot of people have felt like this at one point, where they just get pissed off and they just leave the conversation. it's much more tumultuous when someone's speaking to you. When, again, when it's a disembodied form, I can much more easily come to understand the perspective of someone who, I completely disagree with. I like so many of my favorite YouTubers, like Razorfist, for example. I love Razorfist videos. And I mean, if you look at a lot of the stuff he says about politics, like he supports the wall. I don't support the wall, but he does. And I think he makes a very compelling argument for the wall. Um, if I mean, Razorfist is kind of a bad example because if someone directly told me that they wanted the wall, I wouldn't get angry at them. I'd just kind of go, okay, that's fine. So maybe that was a bad example. But like, I mean, it's stuff like that, similar to it, I should say, um, where, I completely disagree, but I can listen to him explain all of his points and just, boom, just a video. Like a video, that's the medium where you can really come to understand all of the finer details, all of the nuances, because they're all put right there in an edited format where the person had to think about what they were saying, where they had to put it together, they had to edit it, they had to click upload. There's so much that goes into it that you're not going to have lots of things that you forget. I mean, after I record something, I usually remember, oh shit, there's like these 10 things that I forgot, but then I can just record those parts and then add them into the video, and then it's done. You can't really do that in a conversation. You just kind of hit send because you're in the heat of the moment, there are the emotions of the moment, and you're pissed off. And I can't tolerate most people. Most people just make me really angry. And like again, I don't really see myself as a particularly angry person, but I can't deny that I constantly feel like people are not understanding where I'm coming from. It's not about disagreement. We can disagree till the cows come home on whatever. But it's about the presentation of that disagreement and the interpretation of my own stance, of actively presenting my stance in a light that is untrue, because of the ignorance of the finer details of it, or just outright refusing to see the finer details of it. And that ignorance can be my fault, again, for not explaining it properly. Um, and oftentimes it is. And it's just really, really frustrating. I find human communication so frustrating. Like, just today, I was told by my father that I'm like a computer, that I'm like MS-DOS, just having words be typed on a screen and then shot back out at you, that there's no emotion to the things that I say, or I don't react to things that other people would react to with joy or sadness or excitement, etc. I just have I have information that I give. And I don't understand why people react that way to things. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me why people react to things the way that they do, Um, and I have so much trouble, like, when people are sarcastic, for example. Constantly, people have to explain their jokes to me because I won't understand the sarcasm. I'll just read it as a statement. This totem pole of statements that are, supposed to be mainstream or true or correct, or this one makes sense and that one doesn't. I have no differentiation between any of them. To me, it's all just information that I have to take in and consume. And if people have to explain to me what they're implying, they have to say the quiet part aloud, because I fundamentally do not know how to interpret the quiet part. You have to say it all aloud, or it will not make sense to me, or I won't interpret it the way that you mean. And I get so frustrated because I don't know how to express myself. I know that like all of what I do on the internet is just expressing myself, that's the whole goal of any of this. And the reason I do that is out of direct frustration for the concept of language itself. That I am so frustrated with the fact that I have to use words to translate my thoughts into something that's communicatable and that people can understand. Um, And I'm so frustrated with how limited they are and how difficult that they are to use that I've had to teach myself how to do that. And as you can see many, many times over, I'm still not as effective at it as I should be. And it does nothing but anger me. Um, and it's like every single day I see these people, I talk to these people, and I just get more and more mad. Um, Either at myself or the person or both, usually both. And this is why, man. This is why I don't go on Discord, because I'm just so frustrated with human interaction. How limited human interaction is. It makes me so angry. And I don't know how to solve that. I used to be a lot worse about this stuff, which I guess you could say that's progress, but it doesn't seem like it's getting better enough. And in some ways, it seems like it actually regresses and gets worse the more that I interact with people. Um, I don't know. I started seeing the signs of that, and then I said, well, it's time to go. Yeah, I don't know what to do about it. Like, I just want to make sense. I just want people to hear the things that I say and for them to make sense. I need to get in the habit of clarifying absolutely everything I say. Thinking of because I don't understand people, this is really difficult, but I need to be thinking of every possible reaction there could be to the things that I say, and then having 5 layers of clarification for all those reactions just so I don't get these fucking brain dead remarks to even the most basic things that I say. Is that what I need to do? You know? Like, I I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. It's just I'm just angry all the time. I think I think that's why I started smoking again, because like at least when I have cigarettes, I it sort of takes the edge off. I'm less angry when I smoke. But you know, it's kind of a short-term solution to a long-term problem.